Hey, what's up guys? So here's my how to install for the Erica lights. So if you haven't seen my unboxing, go check that out. But here's the Erica lights and everything that comes with it. The dealer wants anywhere from like 200 to 300, almost 400 bucks to install. But it comes with everything. You got your can opener, you got your wiring, you got your brackets, and then of course your manual on how to install it. I'm very familiar with taking apart my bike. I'm going to go through this manual real quick, which I've already done, just to kind of make sure I know where everything's going. But in any case, I'm going to go through the install process, and you guys can follow along, fast forward to the stuff you don't want to see, and get to the points where you want to see it. But here's instructions on how to install the Erica, or any actually, Clearwater lights on your GSA BMW bike. All right, my first plan of action is to take off the battery cover, so that way I can take apart or remove the ground wire. So the nice thing about the BMWs is that everything is mostly a Torx 25. So you can use the factory one that comes with it, or use any other Torx 25. So to remove the battery, it's got these little plastic rubber thing right here. You pull the battery out a little bit. If you can, I would highly recommend don't take off this cover. From my past experience when I installed the horn, putting this cover back on is a royal pain in the ass. So if you can, leave this on. If you need to get this out of the way, fine. But just remove this, unscrew that, and you're golden, and you shouldn't have to worry about anything else. All right, so that is undone. So that's the ground wire. Make sure you keep all your bolts in a safe place so you don't lose anything. Next step, I'm going to remove the seats. Put those in a safe spot. The instructions calls to remove this gas tank cover and then run the wiring through underneath the tank and then out and over, and then run the relays and stuff and connect it to here. I'm not going to try to run all that stuff underneath the tank and try to feed everything through here. I've already installed the air horn and I've removed the tank before and installed it and ran the wiring super clean. If you haven't seen that video of mine, go check it out. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to remove this and the tank and this back here. So I'm going to have to remove all this stuff. Granted, it's definitely extra work. You don't have to do that, but I want to make sure I run all my wiring super clean. And even if it takes me an extra hour or two, not a problem. But that's going to be my step. I've already removed everything in the past. If you haven't seen that video of me installing the air horn, go check it out, because I don't want to waste your time and redoing another video of me removing everything. So the next part will be with this stuff removed, and then get ready for all the wiring done. All right, see you guys in a little bit. All right, so I got everything off of the bike, all the fairing in the front, so I can do all the wiring. Left the crash bars on because that's where I'm going to mount the lights. And I removed the gas tank so that way I can wire the system all the way to the back right here. And then also so I can put the license plate frame on the back here. So as you can see, that's pretty much everything I took off to get this wired up. Now, of course, like I mentioned, the manual, you can leave the gas tank on, you can leave the back piece on here, and just run everything through. But I went ahead and just took everything off so that way I can run everything clean and not have any problems. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start mounting the lights and get the wiring done, and we'll walk you through that. All right, so this is the wiring kit that comes with the lights. I have to zip tie that right here and then run the wires through. So let's go ahead and do that process now. If I could, I would remove this damn air box to get this wiring done in here, but I'm trying to eliminate from not having to remove all kinds of stuff. Get this wire fed through there. Definitely probably have to reroute this. One goes for the right, one goes for the left. And this apparently is supposed to be tie strapped here, which I don't understand how that's going to work, but we will do its best to try to get this to work. All right, we'll be back. In order to mount the relay here or with zip ties, I needed to loosen up these bolts here for the filter box so that way I can bring it back and have some better visual to use zip ties right here. So this is pretty much what I needed to do to get it done right. As you can see, I need to get in there and zip tie it right there, the relay. But so that's the next step. All right, gonna zip tie this relay. All right, so this is where the zip ties go for the relay. There's a little bar right here. This little bar comes across. It doesn't move. It's out of the way from the shock, so you shouldn't have any problems with the shock or anything. So I put 2 zip ties there and zip tie that relay in there. I might even put a third one there just to make sure it's really tight. So that's kind of a pain in the ass. You're gonna have to loosen up this air box so that way you can get in there and move that around and do some adjustments on there. So you have to remove this little breather tube that goes here, so that way you can get in there. And hopefully this gives you a little bit better idea of how this kind of all comes together with that relay. All right, let me finish up the rest of the wiring and go from there. All right, so I got the relay zip tied up there, and then I ran the cable plug for the lights for the right and left side. That's what this red is right there, as you can see. So I went ahead and followed the factory, where the factory wiring is for the factory fog lamps. So there's the plug here, which comes out through there on the left-hand side when you're facing the front of it, or right-hand side if you're facing the front of it, left-hand side if you're like riding the bike. All right. And then there's the other side. Channel it through there to kind of give you a visual. So I went ahead and removed the water tank so that way I can run the other wiring. The manual says that you need to run the cable that connects to the relay and the power through the factory channel that's underneath the box, air box. Starts right here, and then it kind of goes through here and then follows all the way through. If you see my other video I did for installing the air horn, I show you the entire process of that. But in order to get to this section here, you got to remove this bracket for the gas tank. So I already loosened it up, took out the bolts. So I moved that out of the way, and then there is completely exposed. So now you can open that up and run the cabling through there. All right, that's going to be my next step. So let me get that done. Okay, so I have everything wired up. I ran through the channel here. There's the power cable, runs through underneath. You got your power, it's connected there. Your ground here comes through. Zip tied it all the way through to the very back, and then you have it right here. And then these are the wires, extra wires for the Billy brake light accessory. So I still need to wire that, but this is all done. So I'm gonna put back the gas tank. Here's the plug for the light. Put everything through there and through the back, zip tied everything up inside. So that's pretty much the way I did it. Of course, you could try to do this without removing the tank. It'd probably take a little bit more time to dig it up underneath or dig it through. But in any case, that's the way I did it. And so I'm just going to put back the fairing. Got all the wiring tucked underneath there. Zip tied it all up. Got the plug. So put that all back in. And I'll show you the next step here once I get all that done. Okay, so I finally figured out where I'm going to wire the plugs. So that way this will, the cable will reach for the light. And that's pretty much where I ran it. Right through underneath by the radiator on the right side of the bike. And then the same spot on the left side of the bike. So that way it'll kind of wrap like underneath here. And it'll kind of come up underneath there like that. So on the left side, as you can see, I already got the fairing on here. So the light will come up, the wiring will come through here, and then I'll just put some zip ties up underneath here to hold it in place. And that's pretty much it. And that's where that'll go. And then I'll just even those out and done. So I already tested it and it works just fine. But that's the way it'll be in the front with the two lights like that. And the reason why I put them here instead of up here, According to the guys that I spoke with over at Clearwater, they suggest mounting them up here, kind of like what's on their picture on their website, is because if the bike falls over to the side, it's far enough in so that way the crash bar should be able to protect the light from getting damaged. So that's why I went ahead and put them here with the crash bar bracket. That's the reasoning behind it. So one of these days, I'm sure I'll probably end up testing it out. But for the most part, there it is. So here's the finished product with the amber covers on. The lights are very bright, and of course you can adjust the intensity, and I'll do another video with that. But overall, I'm very happy the way these came out. Total installation time took a few hours. Here's a picture with the lights off and with the amber covers on. So I decided to route the wires along the crash bar versus being underneath the fender because by the radiator, because there's not a very good place to zip tie the wires, and they kind of hang down a little bit. So for me, I just felt that this was the best route to run the wires. Of course, you can choose where you want to run your wires. However, the cables they're not super long, so you don't have a whole lot of options to route these wires. So you do have to play with that a little bit, but other than that, you just got to find the right spot that meets your needs. This is the finished product of the Erica lights, the installation. I would appreciate if you guys would give me a thumbs up for my efforts. And leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Would you have installed it a different way? Will you take off the tank, or you just route the wires, pushing it through, and kind of just try to install it without taking off so much stuff? So thanks for watching, and if you do have any questions, feel free to send me a message, and I'll be more than happy to answer those. Thanks for watching, everyone, and peace out.